That's a big axe Tom has over there. And if you haven't seen it in action, we've got a short video of some of the work that we've been able to do here in the state of New Hampshire. We'd like to show for you, and just how powerful that axe really is. So let's roll the video.
Republican presidential hopefuls made an appearance today in New Hampshire. Corey Lewandowski, the New Hampshire State Director for Americans for Prosperity, joins us. Tell me, who showed up, Corey, at your rally?
Well, we had Senator Santorum kick off our event today, starting at noontime, followed by Governor Pawlenty, businessman Herman Cain, and lastly, the former governor of Louisiana, Buddy Wilmer, was there, and it was a capacity crowd, our biggest Tea Party event that we've ever had here in the state capitol. And I can tell you by the candidates' responses as they were there to speak to our crowd that they were overwhelmingly supportive of the message of smaller government, less taxes, less regulation.
GOP presidential hopefuls are heading to the Granite State. They're reaching out to the Tea Party at this event this afternoon with hopes of winning their support. Eric Shaw is live in Concord, New Hampshire, which is one of the best places to follow politics. Eric, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Martha. You can see this rally is still going on behind me. It's been about 2 hours from now. And as you said, New Hampshire is the first state in the nation to hold a primary. It's almost as if the campaign may have started here this afternoon. 4 prospective Republican candidates were here and addressed this rally earlier this afternoon. It is a Tea Party Tax Day rally being sponsored by the group Americans for Prosperity. They may be political rivals, but they all had a common theme. It's time, they say, to stop government spending.
What's the next step? When are you going to be next rally?
Well, the great thing is, 2 weeks from tonight, we've got our foundation is hosting the First of the Nation Presidential Summit. We've got Senator Santorum confirmed again, Governor Pawlenty, Michelle Bachmann, Herman Cain, and the former governor of Massachusetts, Mitt Romney, will be back in New Hampshire to discuss issues on spending. I'd also like to take this time to thank all the sponsors of this event, which you can find in your program, including Americans for Prosperity, which is our sister organization, as this is an Americans for Prosperity Foundation event. I'd like to thank American Petroleum Institute, Reynolds America for making this possible, National School Choice, Davies Public Affairs, and the Great New Hampshire Restaurants. Thank you. I think we all know why we're here tonight. It's 2 reasons. First, to honor our good friend Ovide LaMontagne, and secondly, because none of us received an invitation to the wedding. I'd like to ask our next guest, who is going to bestow upon Ovide LaMontagne the Conservative of the Year award, to come up and join us. But before I do that, let me just give you a little background on Senator Jim DeMint. He is a principled conservative. What that means is he is unapologetically conservative. He has continuously fought since his first election to stop earmarks, sometimes known as the Washington gravy train. He has done so when it was not cool to do so. Senator DeMint, I believe, believes in the following statement, which was uttered by Thomas Jefferson. My reading of history convinces me that most bad government results from too much government. Yeah. I think it's safe to say here in New Hampshire, Senator DeMint has some friends. Those that believe in smaller government and less regulation also support the work that Senator DeMint is doing in the United States Senate. Senator DeMint, since his first campaign for Congress in 1998, has proven to be a principled leader that has fought to secure South Carolina and America's future. His bio is in your program, so I don't feel the need to read it, but I do feel the need to tell you that approximately 1991, if my information is correct, was the last time someone in the state of New Hampshire was honored as the Conservative of the Year. At that time, it was bestowed upon the state senator by the name of Senator Lovejoy, who's with us tonight. Senator Lovejoy's honor was bestowed upon him by Rush Limbaugh. It was very difficult to find someone to upstage Rush Limbaugh. I can tell you that after some serious soul searching and a phone call to a friend, a New Hampshire friend by the name of Ed Corrigan, who knows the state very well, he has delivered someone who can upstage Rush Limbaugh to present this award. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce Senator Jim DeMint from South Carolina.
Disappoint everybody here. I've been with Rush Limbaugh, and I know I'm not Rush Limbaugh, but folks, Jim, this feels like South Carolina to me. We don't even swing axes in South Carolina. They keep telling me all the conservatives in the country are in the South. Now, I've actually had my own leadership put their finger in my face and say, DeMint, you're supporting conservatives in states in the Northeast. Conservatives can't win in the Northeast. We proved them wrong. You proved them wrong. Frankly, I think you're more conservative than a lot of the folks back in the South. So I'm here to recharge my batteries and to thank all of you for being engaged in the process. 2012 is the big one. Frankly, I think it could be our last chance. And we know President Obama is going to have $1 million to spend on his campaign. $1 billion. Oh, excuse me. $1 billion, you know. Washington, you know, you get confused after a while. But fortunately, he's going to spend most of that on greens fees and teleprompters, and the rest of it he'll spend on maybe keeping Joe Biden quiet during the campaign. So he's got a lot of challenges with that $1 billion. But it's great to be here in New Hampshire with fellow conservatives. I think you're showing that all over the country, if we'll field candidates who will tell Americans the truth, which is just simply the federal government has to do less rather than more. In many states, as you're doing here, I think you've cut your budget 10%, or doing what you have to do to make ends meet, to live within your means. And Americans are demanding that we do it. Americans aren't asking for much. They're asking that we stand up and fight for those things that we say when we're campaigning, that we know what we're fighting for. And it is what you see on the acts, basically less government, less taxes, more personal freedom. One of the things that inspired me to run for Congress in the first place was the motto of this state: live free or die. And what I want to know, what I want to find out when I'm here, is that just a slogan, or is that still a commitment of the people who live here and all across our country? Well, I'm here tonight to talk about Ovide, a friend of mine I met during the last campaign. And I want to tell all of you, and I want to tell Ovide this too, I was proud to get behind Ovide in the primary for the Senate. I was even prouder to see how he responded when he lost to Kelly, get behind her to make sure that she won. And I can tell you, we don't see. A lot of places around the country where the conservative won, the moderate didn't get behind them. Here you had two conservatives running, and Ovide, I can tell you this, you'd be proud of Kelly. When she first got elected, she was warned by Republican leadership not to support DeMint's ban on earmarks. She was the first freshman to sign up for that ban. Yeah. Got a good farm team of conservatives here in New Hampshire. One of the things that inspires me about Ovide is he's not a politician. If you look at his record, he is committed to volunteerism and community service, working in the community. He's clearly committed to service to others. And he's committed to the private sector and understands that it's the private sector, the values and beliefs of the people of this country that make it great. You can see in his involvement with the Boy Scouts and his church, schools and hospitals. He combines his work with his public service. Everywhere you look on his resume, he's been involved in some charitable activity, something that uses private sector resources to make New Hampshire and America better. And so his political philosophy is not something made up, but something that comes from understanding what really is the foundation of this country. And it's something I saw in my private life as well, that the things that make America work are not government, particularly not expansive government, but it's the people who work together to do the things that need to be done, decide in their families and at the local level. It's not a complicated formula, but I can tell you it's one that's been forgotten by this president and a lot of folks in Washington today. They really do believe that our strength is in our government and that the government should be making more and more of our own decisions. And we've got to stop it. 2012 is critical. It could be our last chance to stop the direction of our country. And there's no better time than to lift up the principles that Ovide has stood for and to honor him tonight. And I'm so encouraged that all of you come out, not only to honor Ovide and Betty, the whole family is, I think, here tonight, but the presidential candidates, those who are willing to put themselves in harm's way to weigh into this fray so some of the rest of us can sit in judgment on the sidelines. But we've got a great field, and what we hear nationally, I don't think is true, because I think we've got great candidates who are looking at this, and I hope they'll continue to be inspired by Ovide and the millions of people like him around the country who are making this country better every day by volunteering, by working, and by doing what individuals in America have always done, to take control of themselves, their communities, and to make this country better. Ovide, come up here. We want to give you an award. I've been told I can introduce a video of Ovide before he actually speaks. So
freedom is eternal vigilance, and it is. That vigilance isn't just for men and women in uniform. Those of you who are veterans, thank you for your service. It isn't just reserved for people who hold public office. Eternal vigilance means you and me. The citizens are king, and we have got to exercise our rightful place as sovereign over government, because if we don't, we will fail. And that is not fair to our children, our grandchildren.
Real people. We don't need any more liars. We don't need any more fakes. We need real people. And not only is Ovide real, not only is he real. Sorry. Very decent. But he's also very thoroughly conservative.
To work for freedom and liberty. This is just the beginning. It's great to see you this afternoon. Did we have a good start in 2010? Did we have a good start in 2010, regaining control of our government?
Yes, we did.
Here in New Hampshire, new Speaker of the House, new Senate President, a Republican conservative majority in both houses. And it's just the beginning, is it not? Just the beginning. Grandchildren's future, their freedoms and their liberties, and that cannot stand. We need to get control of this government. It is more than immoral, it is criminal that we're spending the way we are in Washington.